tassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Today we will continue Nivarana Papa entrance session. We already discussed number 1, sensual desire. Number 2, hatred or anger, Vyavada Nivarana. Number 3, Tina Maida Nivarana, sloth and torpor. Number 4, Uddecha Kokocha Nivarana, restlessness and remorse or regret. Today we will continue about doubt, Vicikiccha. Sandava ijadam Vicikiccha atime ijadam Vicikicchandi pajanadi. Asandava ijadam Vicikiccha natime ijadam Vicikicchandi pajanadi. Yadhaja nubanasa Vicikiccha sa ubadahodi tancha pajanadi. Yadhaja ubanasa Vicikiccha sa pahana hodi tancha pajanadi. Yadhaja bahinasa Vicikiccha sa ayade nubadahodi tancha pajanadi. There being doubt in him, a bhikkhu understands there is doubt in me. And there being no doubt in him, if he understands there is no doubt in me. And he also understands how there comes to be the rising of unreason doubt. And he also understands how there comes to be the abandoning of the reason doubt. And he also understands there comes to be how there comes to be the non-future arising of abundant doubt. 5 petals. In this case, what is doubt? He had a lot of doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the activity of the law of karma or dependent origination. And then past aggregates, future aggregates, past and future aggregates. In such cases, he had a lot of doubt. If there is doubt in him, he should try to understand there is doubt in me. How he should try? He should discern, number 1, mind. Number 2, about the object. Which object he had a lot of? When that object impinges in the mind, cognitive will arise according to series. In that mind cognitive process, jhana impulsion mind movement, in each mind movement there are 16 mental formations. So among these 16 mental formations, we have stated up. These 60 are what? Sister Susila explained, I think so. So 5 universals, 7 universals, 1 consciousness, 7 universals. The initial obligation of the mind, sustained obligation of the mind. And then energy, viriya, effort. Then 4 universal and wholesome mental patterns, Uddecha, restlessness, moha, delusion, Ahirika, shamelessness, Anuttapa, fearlessness. These four. Then another is doubt. Altogether there are 16 mental fetters. You should try to discern these 60s. What is the object? Object must be, if you have doubt about the Buddha, Buddha is the object. If you have doubt about the Dhamma, Dhamma is your object. What is Dhamma? The teachings of Buddha is also called Dhamma. Four-part knowledge and four-fruition knowledge are also called Dhamma. Nibbana, unconditioned element, this is also called Dhamma. So altogether, 10 types of Dhamma. About these 10 types of Dhamma, if you have any doubt, then this is called Vicikiccha. These are the objects. How they can be doubt about the Dhamma? Now it is many problems. Many problems means nowadays many people cannot attain jhana briefly. It is impossible. This is also doubt about the teaching of Buddha. You may understand in this Mahasaripana Sutta also Buddha teach Anupana jhana. And then Patikula Manasikara first jhana. You must practice. Then channel 9 channel ground contemplation. There is also Asubha jhana. These jhanas are Buddha taught in this Mahasaripana Sutta also. In many suttas, Buddha usually taught 8 ademes, 10 kasinas, 8 ademes, etc. So many times Buddha taught. Then please listen. Bhikkhu Samadhi Bhikkhu Bhavita Samahito Bhikkhu Bhikkhu Yatha Buddha Bhajanadi. Bhikkhus cultivate concentration. A bhikkhu who is concentrated understands the Dhammas as they really are. What does he understand? The Dhammas as they really are. He understands this is the noble truth of suffering. This is the noble truth of the origin of suffering. This is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. This is the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering as they really are. This is explained in Siksha Sanyutta. So, to understand as they really are, the Four Noble Truths as they really are, Buddha asked many times bhikkhus to practice concentration. Because a bhikkhu who is concentrated understands the Dhammas as they really are. Openly Buddha explained. But nowadays many meditators they think it is impossible to attain jhana. So they have a lot of doubt about jhana practice. Is it true? Yes, this is one. Then if you have any doubt about jhana practice, then you should discern Buddha. You should discern the jhana object. You should pay attention, this is impossible. You have doubt. Then this Vicikiccha doubt will arise together with associated mental formations according to cognitive process. This is one. Another is, now here's maybe few meditators, they attain jhana. It is true, but they have no doubt maybe. But few meditators, they also practice 4 elements of meditation. Nowadays, they say it is impossible to see clouds, small particles. They have a lot of doubt. They have doubt about the teaching of Dhamma, the teaching of Buddha, Dhamma. They have a lot of doubt about the Dhamma. Then again, they says it is also impossible to analyze these clouds and then to discern ultimate materialities in each cloud. It is impossible. This can be understood by Buddha only. They say like that. So they have a lot of doubt. In the same way, they also say, oh, it is impossible to discern ultimate materiality and materiality. Within one's finger snap, millions of mind moments arising in passing way. How they can be discerned this mind moment? Oh. This is doubt. Is it true? Yes, this is also doubt. Within one moment there are many mental formations. How they can discern? How it is possible to discern these mental formations? Within one finger snap they are rising and passing away so very, very quickly. It is impossible. Only Buddha can be understood. This is their explanation, their opinion. So they have a lot of doubt about discerning ultimate mentality also. In the same way, first is finished. Nothing. Future is not yet coming. Yes, nothing. Only just present you must discern. Oh. So if they do in this way, they cannot understand the way their origination. Because of the past causes, present effects arise. Because of the present causes, future effects will arise. They will not understand this dependent origination. So, if they accept in this way, then they will not understand dependent origination. They have a lot of doubt the activity of the law of karma and dependent origination. So this is also doubt. Nowadays, many people, many meditators, although they are practicing Buddha, practicing Samatha Vipassana or Vipassana, they have a lot of doubt Buddha's teaching. How they can be attained, or how they can realize Fundamental truths as they really are. Because they have a lot of doubt. They do not practice to understand these dhammas. Because they accept it is impossible. So if they accept it is impossible, they will not try to understand the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. They will not try. So without understanding the noble truth of suffering and the noble truth of the origin of suffering, if they practice Vipassana, what is their object of their Vipassana? Because the object of Vipassana is noble truth of suffering by aggregates. The origin of noble truth of suffering, dependent origination. These two noble truths are the object of Vipassana. If they do not discern these two noble truths, what is the object of their Vipassana? So very difficult. So they have a lot of doubt. If they have doubt, this is one type of hindrance. Not to attain jhana, not to attain, not to realize nirvana, not to attain but inclusion knowledge. So because of this doubt is also one type of great hindrance. It prohibits not to attain jhana, not to attain insight knowledge, not to attain but inclusion knowledge. So because of this reason, if there is doubt in you, you should try to understand. There is doubt in me. If you do not understand, there is doubt in you, then you will not try to remove this doubt. Is it true? Yes. If you understand only other than you will try to remove this doubt. If you do not understand, how you can remove? Because you do not understand about doubt. So very, very, very important this one. Then another is there is no doubt in you. You should try to understand there is no doubt in me. How you should try? When you are discerning ultimate mentality and materiality, except doubt. When you are discerning other mentality and materiality except doubt, at that time doubt is not present in your mind moment. Because you are discerning ultimate mentality, materiality. At that time no doubt. But if you discern also doubt, then at that time also again no doubt will arise. Why this doubt arises? Because of unwise attention. No, unwise attention means no, it is impossible to attain jhana. This is also one type of unwise attention. No, it is impossible to realize ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality. This is also unwise attention. No, it is also impossible to to understand past and future. Because past is finished, but future is not yet coming. It is impossible. So this is also one type of unwise attention only. Based on this unwise attention, doubt is coming. So you must try to remove this doubt. How you should remove to this doubt? If there is doubt in you, you should try to understand there is doubt in me. If there is no doubt, then you should try to understand there is no doubt in me. In this way, if you understand, at that only you can remove or you can destroy this doubt. The understanding knowledge. The another is, he also understands how there comes the rising of no and the rising of unreason doubt. How this doubt comes about, you should try to understand cause. This is a wise attention. Then another is, here Gomiti explains another reasons. Being learned in the Buddha's teachings. If you learn thoroughly the Buddha's teachings with respectful mind, then slowly this doubt also may disappear. This is one cause. And that because in Buddha's teaching, how you should try to remove these different types of hindrances, clearly explained in detail. So if you learn the Buddha's teaching systematically, then when you begin learned bhikkhu, then this doubt may be temporarily disappear. Then you can remove this doubt. Then questioning about the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. What is the Buddha? What is the Dhamma? What is the Sangha? You should try to understand. You should ask many questions to the elders. It is also important. Then number 3, understanding thoroughly the nature of the discipline, monastic course. You should try to understand the Vinaya rules. This is especially referring talk about the purification of virtue. Whether I should do or not, or this is I should do, or this is also I should not do. He had a lot of. He cannot decide. At that time he must study monastic course, Vinaya rules. At that time also about this talk will disappear. Then number 4 is, we decided about the truth of the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. Buddha is real Buddha, the Dhamma is real Dhamma, Sangha is the real Sangha. To decide this, you should try, you must practice. You must decide ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality and their causes. Then you must contemplate them as nature, dukkha, anatta. Up to birth and fruition knowledge stage. When you realize birth and fruition knowledge, at that time you will understand, oh, Nibbana is real. There is Nibbana. Nibbana is still exists. It is true. But in fruition knowledge, which realizes Nibbana also true. The Buddha, which realized Nibbana also still real. The Sangha, which realized Nibbana also there is real Sangha. So he had no doubt. So up to that stage, you must practice. It is better. Other than doubt, completely will disappear. Then another is sympathetic in helpful companionship with good persons. You should associate with good persons. They will help you to remove this doubt in different ways, especially the elders who are learned in Buddha's teaching, who practice practically Buddha's teaching. So they have learning knowledge as well as direct knowledge. You should associate with such elders. This is also important. They will help you to remove these doubts. Then number 6, stimulating doubt that helps to dispel doubt, to remove doubt. You should try to doubt, stimulating doubt only, to dispel the doubt. You should not try to tell the talking which will be increase the doubt. Oh, it is impossible. I do not believe. it is impossible, I do not believe. If you talk in this way, then you cannot meditate thoroughly. So because of this reason, if you have any doubt, then you should associate with some meditators who are successful. How you practice in this way? How you should practice with we should practice in this way, in such a way. How do you practice? In this way you should talk, no much problem. But there are some meditators who are not yet successful. Then if you discuss with them, they will say it is impossible. So such talk is not good. Stimulating talk is better. So these are 6, but these are the causes. So because of this reason, Buddha says, he also understood how there comes to be the rising of unreasoned thought. He should understand the cause. Then another sentence. He also understands how there comes to be the abandoning of reason thought. He had a lot of thought, but he already abandoned this. How he abandoned, he should try to understand. How he should abandon this thought. He must try jhana practice. Based on concentration, he must discern ultimate mentality and their causes. At that time, he will understand thoroughly dependent origination, especially the activity of the law of karma. At that time, partially doubt disappear, because Buddha's at that time he can accept Buddha's teaching is real truth, because he can discern ultimate materiality, he can discern ultimate mentality, he can discern their causes clearly by his direct knowledge. At that time, a lot of doubts will be disappear. Then, when he attained at the end of his vipassana insight, when his insight become mature, at the end of his insight, but improving knowledge will arise, stage by stage. That path improving knowledge will destroy completely without remainder this doubt, especially string entry path knowledge, Sotapanna Magga, will destroy this doubt completely without remainder. But if you practice up to the Pichabrika Jnana, discerning cause and condition, in other words, discerning the noble truth of the origin of suffering. Up to that stage, if you practice, if you can understand by your direct knowledge, and then also that insight knowledge also can remove temporarily this doubt. But such entry path can remove this doubt completely without remainder. So you should also understand how there comes to be the abandoning of the reason doubt. This you should try to understand up to that stage. And then he also understands how there comes to be the non-future rising of abundant thought. When you reach such entry path, it will never visit to your mind again. So you should also understand the future not rising of abundant thought. So these are 5 sentences Buddha taught. So if you see up to this Mahasri Prana Suta's teaching system, then you will understand in this sutta how Buddha teach Samatha Vipassana. Number 1, Buddha taught Anapana up to 4th jhana. Then Buddha in this Kayanupassana Satipatthana session, Buddha emphasized to discern ultimate materiality based on jhana. Then second chapter is Vedananupassana, contemplation of feeling as feeling. In that chapter, Buddha emphasized how to discern feeling. That chapter is Chaitanya-nupassana, contemplation of mind as mind. In this chapter, Buddha emphasized especially mind to discern mind. to contemplate mind. And then, now this Dhammanupassana, contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma objects. In this chapter, Buddha emphasizes now 5 hindrances. Now you already heard the 5 hindrances, how you should try to how you should practice. So in this chapter, the remaining 51 middle petals Buddha emphasizes. So altogether, ultimate materiality, feeling in 51 middle petals are 52 middle petals are finished. Then Chaitanya, this is consciousness. So altogether, if we combine this ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality, all finished. But again, Buddha wants to stress this ultimate mentality and ultimate materiality, if they divide 5 groups, then this way of teaching also Buddha wants to teach. So because of this reason, Buddha continued to teach 5 aggregate method. Why Buddha taught this 5 aggregate method? Commentary and sub-commentaries explain about this way of practice. Some meditators are discerning ultimate materiality, they can clearly understand ultimate materiality. But when they are discerning ultimate mentality, their understanding is slow. They cannot understand clearly. For those Buddha explained, Buddha divide ultimate mentality 4 groups, 4 aggregates. Feeling aggregate, perception aggregate, volition and formation aggregate, consciousness aggregate. 4 group Buddha explained. But although this is 4 mental aggregates, but ultimate material is 1 aggregate, altogether 5 aggregate. But that's 5 aggregate, when you are listening 5 aggregate, you may understand it may be easy, but when you are practicing really, it is not easy. It is not easy means I want to explain. When you are discerning ultimate materiality and ultimate mentality, you must first discern according to cognitive process. For example, idle cognitive process. In idle cognitive process, there are, in each mind moment, there are mentality and materiality always arising in passing ways. In mind advantage and phyto advantage consciousness mind moment, there are also mentality and materiality. That phyto advantage consciousness arises depending on heart base. If you discern 4 elements in your heart systematically, you can see only a group of small particles, kalabas. If you analyze these kalabas, there are 6 types of kalabas only. Heart decade kalabas, but they do not understand what is decade. So 10th, if we calculate in this kalabas, up to heart base, there are altogether 10 types of materiality. Earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, odor, flavor, nutritive acid, life faculty, and then heart base, altogether 10. In the same way, in heart, if you touch, you can feel touching sensation. So because of this, there is also body decade kalabas. Up to body transfer element, there are 10 rupas. Body transfer element is 10 rupas. So it is called 10th kalabas. Body decade kalabas. Body decade kalabas. Another is sex decade kalabas. In your heart, there is also sex decade kalabas, because sex materiality spread throughout the body. Everywhere there is present. Because of this reason, when you see some person, one person, we can quickly understand this is man, this is woman. But now it is maybe a little bit difficult. So we cannot differentiate this is a man or woman. Because all are same. Clothes are all same. Only sometimes maybe another highlight. Jim. Jim. Like Jane, if they are and then only we can differentiate easily. So there is also sex technique number. In the same way, every mind which rests dependent on heart which can produce mind produce materiality. So there are also mind produce otak kalamba. Otak they translate 8. Up to 8. An element, water element, fire element, wet element, color, odor, flavor, nutritive essence. Altogether 8. So in the same way, in each kalamba there is fire element. That fire element also can produce new generation. This is called temperature produced materiality. There is also 8 in each kalamba. In each kalamba there is nutritive essence. Where from edible fruit, with the help of digestive fire, nutritive essence can produce new generations of the whole body. These are called nutritive as produced materiality. In this nutritive essence produced materiality, there is nutritive essence. When that nutritive essence and digestive fire support, in each kalamba there is also nutritive essence. They can also produce new generation. So here, in the heart, nutritive as produced material also present. Altogether 6 types of kalambas. In each type, quantity is many. Only type is only 6. Altogether 54 types. Depending on this heart phase, when we are descending heart phase, we must try to break down the 3 types of compactness of materiality. At that only we will understand ultimate materiality. So this ultimate materiality is the aggregate of materiality. Then in mind of advantage, mind moment, there are 11 mental factors. We already calculated that many times. Among these 11, Vedana feeling is the aggregate of feeling. Senya perception is the aggregate of perception. The remaining 9, the remaining 8, the remaining 8 mental factors are the formation aggregate, the aggregate of formation. The consciousness is the aggregate of consciousness. So altogether, in mind of adverting mind moment, 5 aggregates. In the same way, I consciousness mind moment also 5 aggregate. In every mind moment, 5 aggregate, 5 aggregate, 5 aggregate. You should try to discern these 5 aggregates in every mind moment. So, if you have already discerned ultimate materiality and mentality, at that time only you will understand these 5 aggregates in every mind moment. Because of this reason, after discerning ultimate mentality, materiality, at that time only Buddha taught 5 aggregate method. So, teaching system you should try to understand. Then, you must contemplate them as nature dukkha anatta. But in this case, Buddha taught 5 aggregate method clearly. Clearly means teaching. I want to tell you teaching system only. But before this before I'm trying this conduct purpose, aggregate method, I want to conclude the hindrances session. So in hindrances session, 5 hindrances session, Buddha home continue his tomato. Iti ijadawa dhamesu dhamanubhasi viharati vedawa dhamesu dhamanubhasi viharati ijada vedawa dhamesu dhamanubhasi viharati. He advised contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma object internally. He advised contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma objects externally. Or he advised contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma objects both internally and externally. What is the meaning? Based on 5 hindrances, you must discern ultimate mentality, materially, internally, and externally, both. Then after that Buddha taught Samudaya Dhammanubhasiva Dhammesu Viharadi, Vaya Dhammanubhasiva Dhammesu Viharadi, Samudaya Vaya Dhammanubhasiva Dhammesu Viharadi. He thus contemplated in Dhamma objects, the arising phenomena of Dhamma objects. He thus contemplated in Dhamma objects, the vanishing, their nature of vanishing. He thus contemplated Dhamma objects, the arising in their nature of arising and vanishing phenomena. So in this way, Buddha explained, this is dependent origination. And then you must contemplate this ultimate material and their causes as nature, dukkha, anatta, up to Udiyabhaya Jnana stage. Arising and falling, inside knowledge of understanding of arising and falling. Up to that inside knowledge stage, you must practice. Then Buddha continued, Ati Dhamma Diva Panasa Sati Pichupati Dahodi Yavadiva Jnana Madhaya Presti Madhaya. When his inside knowledge of arising and falling or arising and passing away becomes strong, other than he should emphasize only dissolution, not rising. If he emphasizes dissolution, other than he will understand only there is Dhammas only. What Dhammas? Ultimate mentality, ultimate material, their causes of this. Except this ultimate mentality, material in their causes, there is nothing. This insight knowledge will become strong and powerful. That strong, powerful insight knowledge will associate it with strong, powerful mindfulness. That mindfulness and clear comprehension can be the strong, powerful supporting cause for increasing higher and higher mindfulness and insight knowledge. When his insight knowledge becomes mature, at the end of his insight knowledge, path and fruition knowledge will arise, realizing Nibbana as object. When four path and fruition knowledge stage by stage arise, then 5 hindrances will be destroyed completely without remainder. So, after that stage, Buddha taught, Anisi Docha Viharati Nacha Kiji Lobe Uvadiyadi. He advised independent, not clinging anything in the world. Evam ko bhikkhu bhikkhu dhammesu dhammanubhasi viharati enchasu nivarnesu. Bhikkhus in this way, bhikkhus, this is how a bhikkhu advises contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma. In terms of 5 hindrances, in this way Buddha concludes his teaching. This is Nirvana session. Again Buddha continued 5 aggregate method. How he continued? Punacha Brahm Bhikkhu Bhikkhu Dhammesu Dhammanubhasi Viharati Enchasu Upadanakandesu. Bhikkhus, again a bhikkhu advises contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma objects in terms of 5 aggregates. Katincha Bhikkhu Bhikkhu Dhammesu Dhammanubhasi Viharati Enchasu Upadanakandesu. How a bhikkhu advises contemplating Dhamma objects as Dhamma objects in terms of 5 clinging aggregates. Then Buddha explained the way of practice. This is very important, very systematic. Iti rupasa samudaya, iti rupasa athangamo. Iti vedanaya samudaya, iti vedanaya athangamo. Iti sanyaya samudaya, iti sanyaya athangamo. Iti Sankhara, iti sankharana samudaya, iti sankharana athangamo. Iti vinyana sa samudaya, iti vinyana sa athangamo. 5 aggregate. One by one Buddha explained. What is the meaning? Such is materiality. Such is the causal arising of materiality and momentary arising of materiality. Such is the causal cessation of materiality and momentary cessation of materiality. 3 stages. Such is materiality. You must try to understand such is materiality. This is materiality. You should try to understand. But you should not stop about this. Again, you must try. Such is the causal rising of materiality and momentary rising of materiality. You should try to understand. What is the meaning? Because of the rising of causes, materiality aggregate rise. This also you should try to understand. This is causal rising of materiality. What are the causes? Vidya, ignorance, Tana, craving, Upadana, clinging, Sankhara, volitional formations, Karma, karmic forces, 5 causes. Because of the rising of 5 causes, the clinging aggregate of materiality rise. You should also try to understand this causal rising. Past causes produce present material aggregate. Present causes will produce future material aggregate. So you should try to understand this cause and effect. Then momentary rising. As soon as they pass away. So you should emphasize rising stage. Clearly, moment by moment, they are rising. In this way, you should try to understand rising stage. This is second stage. The third stage is causal cessation. Causal cessation and momentary cessation. What is causal cessation? Because of the complete cessation of causes, material aggregate will cease completely without remainder. The causal cessation also you should try. When it will be ceased completely without remainder. If one meditator attains hardship at that time, 5 causes will cease completely without remainder. Because of the complete cessation of 5 causes, then 5 aggregates including material aggregate will cease completely without remainder after Parinibbana. Parinibbana stage is last stage. So that complete cessation also you must try to understand. Then again, momentary cessation also you must try. Every moment by moment, as soon as they rise, they pass away. So momentary rising, momentary cessation. Both you must try to see rising and passing away. Momentary rising and passing away. In other words, causal rising and causal passing away. Momentary rising and momentary passing away. Both you must try to understand. And then Buddha taught another. Such is feeling. Such is the causal rising of feeling and momentary rising of feeling. Such is the causal cessation and momentary cessation of feeling. In the same way, such is sanya perception. Such is the causal rising of perception and momentary rising of perception. Such is causal cessation of perception and momentary cessation of perception. Okay? Such are formations. Such are their causal rising and momentary rising. Such are their causal cessation and momentary cessation. Again, such is consciousness. Such is rising. It is rising and momentary rising. It's causal rising and momentary rising. Such is it is causal cessation and momentary cessation. In this way, 4 mental aggregates also Buddha taught in the same way. In this case also, you must try to understand feeling, perception, volitional formations, feeling, perception, formations, and consciousness. 4 mental aggregates. You should try to understand these 4 mental aggregates. Okay? You should also try, because of the rising of causes, 4 mental aggregates arise. Because of the complete cessation of causes, 4 mental aggregates cease completely without remainder. Then, as long as they rise, they pass away. So you should also try to understand momentary rising in passing away also. So in this way, Buddha taught five aggregate method. So what is the meaning? Such is materially. What is the meaning? There are 28 types of materiality. You should try to understand these 28 types of materiality, their intrinsic nature of characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause. For example, earth element. If you discern 4 elements systematically in your body, when your concentration develops further, you will see kalabas. For example, I take a kalaba. In that kalaba, if you analyze, there are 10 types of materiality. From earth element to iron transparent element, altogether 10 types of materiality. Among these 10 earth element, for example, what is the characteristic of an earth element? Especially in this case, hardness is predominant pattern, predominant characteristic of earth element. What is its function? Padithada Radha. There are 10 rupas. All the remaining 10 rupas stand on that earth element. So this is, its function is, it is doing standing place for concomitant materialities. This is his function. What is its manifestation? Sampadichana Pichupasa Patana. If it is standing place, for example, this eyeglass stands on the palm, my palm, my hand. This is standing place. If it is standing place, it is carrying the concomitant material patterns. We can say carry. This is manifestation. When a meditator trying to discern this earth element, he will see, oh, this earth element is carrying the concomitant material patterns, not concomitant materialities within Sankalapa. You will see this is manifestation. But what is proximate cause? Proximate cause is the concomitant, the remaining 3 elements within same kalaba, not different kalaba. What are 3 elements? Without water element, fire element, and wind element, earth element alone cannot arise. They are always concomitant. So, the other 3 elements, water element, fire element, and wind element, these are proximate cause. They are vice versa, they depend on each other. So, without another 3 elements, 1 element alone cannot arise. They are always concomitant. This is proximate cause. In this way, you must try to discern these 28 types of ultimate materiality by way of characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause. If you does not see kalabas, if you cannot analyze kalabas, how you can discern this characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause? How you can discern? Please tell. Is it possible?
No.
So first you should try to see kalabas. To see kalabas, how you should practice? We again already said. You must begin 4 elements meditation systematically. When your concentration develops further, one day you will see these kalabas. The other day, please try to analyze these kalabas. At least you will see 4 elements in each kalaba. Then please continue to discern the remaining derivative materialities such as color, smell, taste, nutritive essence, color, odor, flavor, nutritive essence, light faculty, eye transparent element, etc. Eye gaze, eye sensitivity. In the same way, Buddha also taught such is feeling. What is such is feeling? Such is perception, such is formation, such is consciousness. you should also try these mental aggregates also. You should discern these mental aggregates by way of characteristic function manifestation. So, feeling one mental pattern, perception one mental pattern, formations there are 50 mental patterns, consciousness one type. But in different mind moment, they do different function. For example, mind-to-antibody mind moment, this is reviewing mind-to-antibody consciousness do, and that's only reviewing function. In eye consciousness mind moment, eye consciousness to see the color. So they have different function. So in each mind moment they have different functions. You should try to see these different functions, not only function but also manifestation and proximate cause also. So in each mind moment, there are many mental patterns. Every mental pattern you must try to see by way of characteristic function, manifestation and proximate cause. At that time only you will understand such is feeling, such is perception, such is formations, such is consciousness. At that time only you will understand. Then you should try to continue to build the origination. Because of the rising of causes, effects will arise, five aggregates arise. Because of the complete cessation of causes, five aggregates is completely without remainder. You should try to understand this causal arising in passing away. Then you should try momentary arising in passing away. All mentality materialities are, as soon as they arise, they pass away very, very quickly. You should also try to see this momentary arising and passing away. So meditators, when they are discerning this ultimate mentality materiality, they can clearly understand ultimate materiality. But when they are discerning ultimate mentality, or when they are contemplating ultimate mentality as nature to another, they do not clearly see, they do not clearly understand. For those, Buddha also divide five aggregate method. Buddha also taught five aggregate method. This is another reason, one reason. Another reason is there are some meditators, their controlling faculties are not so sharp. Their controlling faculties are middle, not so dark, not so sharp, in the middle way. For those, we call this Michima meditators, the middle ones. For those also Buddha taught five aggregate method. This is also one reason. Another reason is some meditators, they also in other way they have sharp wisdom faculty. For those also sometimes Buddha taught this five aggregate method, like Pinchavagiya Bhikkhu, five group bhikkhus. When Buddha is expounding Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, sudden emotion of the wheel of the Dhamma, in that Sutta Buddha taught Four Noble Truth method. I will explain later this Four Noble Truth method again. But by listening this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Venerable Konina alone became Sotapanna. The other four bhikkhus, they must practically practice according to this Four Noble Truth method. When they practice, slowly they begin, day by day, they begin Sotapannas. When they already begin Sotapannas, and then Buddha taught them Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. In Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, Buddha teach them to contemplate five aggregate method. Tasma Diha Bhikkhve Yangeshi Rupa Dida Nagata Vishobana Ijatama Bhidama Oladigama Sukumava Hinama Banidama Yandure Sandi Gewa Sabaruban Didama Nisa Masumi Namiso Adadi Iva Bidayata Buddha Samavinya Tatapa. In this way Buddha taught. Why they can follow this teaching? Because when they are practicing Four Noble Truth method, number one, the noble truth of suffering is what? Five aggregates. Safe. So because of this reason, in this lesson, Buddha explained five aggregate method. Okay. What is the meaning? Whether past or present or future, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all materialities, you must contemplate them as nature, dukkha, anatta. This is not mine, this is not I, this is not myself. You must contemplate them as nature, dukkha, anatta. Same. In the same way, feeling, perception, formations, and consciousness aggregates also Buddha taught in the same way. Because of this reason, when they are contemplating according to Buddha's teaching, at the end of this course, they begin all arhats. So this is five aggregate method. In that method, Buddha openly teach whether past or present or future. Past five aggregate, present five aggregate, future five aggregate. You must contemplate. But nowadays, many meditators, they say, past is finished, not necessary. Present, future is not yet coming, not necessary. You must emphasize only present. But in that sutta, Buddha openly explained whether past or present or future, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all five aggregates you must contemplate as nature, dukkha, anatta. You should try to study these suttas. So they are very helpful. You should have enough confidence. Oh, this is Buddha's teaching. According to this teaching, they practice samatha vipassana. They became arhats. You have a lot of confidence. Is it true? Yes, Buddha's teaching is very important. You should try, if you want to practice vipassana, you should try to understand these teachings. This is very important. Then Buddha continued his Dhamma talk. Iti ijjadawa kaya ijjadawa dhamesu dhammanubhasi viharati bhaidava dhamesu dhammanubhasi viharati ijjada bhaidava dhamesu dhammanubhasi viharati. Five aggregates, internally and externally you must try. Same in another sutta. Then Buddha taught Samudaya dhammanubhasi va dhamesu viharati vaya dhammanubhasi va dhamesu viharati Samudaya vaya dhammanubhasi va dhamesu viharati. Because of the rising of causes, five aggregates arise. Because of the complete cessation of causes, five aggregates cease. Cause also nature, five aggregates also nature. You must try to contemplate them. Then, Ati Jamadi Mabanasa Sati Pichu Badida Hodi Yavadiva Yanamadaya Bresli Badaya. You should emphasize only dissolution. And then you will understand there are only five aggregates. Except five aggregates, there is nothing. They are always passing away. You will understand. Other than you will not see kalabas also. You will see only ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality. Another what? Other than only they will reach ultimate truth. This ultimate truth is impermanent ultimate truth, not permanent ultimate truth. There are two ultimate truths, permanent and impermanent. Nibbana is permanent ultimate truth. Five aggregates are, or ultimate mentality and materiality are, impermanent ultimate truth only. You should try to see this impermanent ultimate truth. You must contemplate them as nature, dukkha, anatta. Slowly, when you are inside, become mature. At the end of inside knowledge, part improving knowledge will realize Nibbana. That part improving knowledge will destroy development stage by stage. At that time, Anisi Donja Viharati Nacha Kinji Loge Ubadiyadi. He abides independent, not clinging to anything, and five aggregate war. There is no clinging for him. All craving already destroyed. This is called contract. Is it true? Contract to new existence. Cut already. No? So all finished. So evam ko bhikkhu bhikkhu dhammesu dhammanubhasi viharati pichasu ubadhane khandesu. If you want to practice five aggregate method, you must practice in this way only. He concludes. If you practice in another way, this is not Buddha's teaching. If you want to practice according to Buddha's teaching, you must follow his teaching systematically. Okay? Any question?
所以到 when the you stop clinging and path moment. So you go through one of the three gates, which
Yes,
is
yes,
anicca, dukkha, or anatta.
Yes, yes.
So, in subsequent path moments, do you always go through the same, you just see that one aspect of Nibbana, or can you see different aspects each time?
Maybe somebody does say, somebody does maybe different. Different means they three and three paths. After that, they cannot easily attain one sadhana path. They must practice for a long time again. Because their inside knowledge is not yet mature to attain second higher stage. So because of this reason, they must contemplate again and again. When they are contemplating in this way, sometimes they may contemplate nature, sometimes maybe dukkha, sometimes maybe another. So, first part knowledge, second and three part knowledge may arise while he is contemplating nature. But when he attains was Radhana part knowledge, at that time, when he is contemplating formations as another, at that time also he may realize Nibbana. Or he may attain second part knowledge, once Radhana part knowledge. So there may be different. For some meditators they are same. Same is usually when they are contemplating formations as anicca, dukkha, another. When they are contemplating, for example, first jhana dhammas as anicca, dukkha, another, and then also they may realize Nibbana. Their three and three part is associated with first jhana. But when they are contemplating second jhana dhammas again, at that time also they may realize Nibbana again, or they may attain second part knowledge, once Radhana part knowledge. So his second part knowledge will associate that second jhana dhamma. So in this way, some may be same, some may be also different.
Sayadaw, all over the world nowadays, teachers say that the jhanas are not necessary. But over and over again in many sutras, the Buddha explains right concentration or sammasamadhi as the jhanas themselves, at least the first four jhanas. Is there another place or a different place, a sutta, where the Buddha defines sammasamadhi as something else other than the jhanas?
Yes, yes. Maybe there's one sutta. You may try to see, I remember one sutta. This is Susima Sutta. And Nidana Vagga Sanyuta. In that sutta, Susima is one wandering ascetic, paribhajaka. But one day he went to steal Dhamma in this dispensation. Why? In their dispensation, slowly gains are slowly decreased. Because of this reason, at that day, Buddha's dispensation decreased gains, many requisites. So they were how they teach the disciples. Many devotees will increase. How they track and how they teach the Dhamma. So he want to know the teaching system. So he went to steal the Dhamma, he entered into this order. He ordained as a bhikkhu under the guidance of Venerable Ananda. Then, within few days, he will become Rahat. Buddha also saw. Because of this reason, Buddha permit him to ordain as a bhikkhu in this dispensation. Usually, many wandering ascetics who practice outside the dispensation, they must take parivasa at least 4 months. That parivasa is called titiya parivasa. Maybe as a Nagariga, they must stay in this dispensation at least 4 months. When bhikkhus satisfy his behavior, after that only they will ordain again. But if they do not yet satisfy, then they must stay again another 4 or 3 months, etc. So in this case, Buddha, Venerable Ananda asked Buddha the situation. Buddha trying to look at his inner quality by his Indriya Propriety Jnana, Anusya, Asya Anusya Jnana. He saw his controlling faculties will be ripened very soon. Within few days he will become Arhat Buddha Anasa. So because of this reason, Buddha directly permit to ordain as a bhikkhu. After ordination, a group of bhikkhus are visiting to the Buddha to pay respect and to inform their achievement. They became Arhats. So usually in the of Buddha, many bhikkhus who they attain Arhatship, they pay respect to the Buddha and to inform their achievement. They visit to the Buddha. After that also he heard, many bhikkhus are informing to the Buddha their achievement. They became Arhats. He heard. So because of this reason, he approached those bhikkhus later. Do you attain any such power? No. Do you attain any jhana? No. How do you, without attaining jhana, without attaining any such power, mani such power, how do you become Arhat? We are Pinya Vimodha. Pinya Vimodha is we are free from wisdom, free from through wisdom only. Because of wisdom faculty, we escape from the defilements. In this way they explain, but he do not understand. How it is possible? Then he approached to the, if you do not understand, you should ask to the Buddha. Why they say in this way? Because Buddha understands his nature, we do not understand his inner nature. Buddha will explain suitable Dhamma to him. So he approached to the Buddha. And at that time Buddha taught every word that Dhamma Desana, saying like another Lakkhana Sutta. Rupa is nature or nature? Buddha asked him a question. Nature, Bhante. If it is nature, this is Sukha or Dukkha Bhante. If it is Sukha and Dukkha and then changing, Viparinama Dhamma, it can be accepted as this is I. Nobody. In the same way, Vedana, feeling, perception, formations and consciousness aggregates also Buddha asked. After that Buddha taught, they believe that Dhamma Desana, saying like another Lakkhana Sutta. Tasmadiha don't Yangichi Rupa, Tita Nagata Bishopana, Ija Dhamma, Vedama, Olarikama, Sukumama, Inama Bani Dhamma, Yandure Sandikeva, Sabarumba, Nidamama, Niso Masvi, Namiso Adadi. Eva Mida Yatha Buddha Samabinya Tadabha. Whether it is past or present or future, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior power near, all materialities you must contemplate them as nature to another. In this way, the remaining middle aggregates also Buddha taught in the same way. Then, following Buddha's teaching, he contemplated these 11 types of 5 aggregates as nature to another. Then he became Sotapanna. He became Rahat. At that time, Buddha asked him, do you understand the debate? Especially Buddha emphasized divine origination. Because of the rising of ignorance, formations arise. Do you understand or no? Oh, I understand. In the same way, divine origination throughout the whole teaching Buddha asked. He answered already. Then again Buddha asked, because of the complete cessation of ignorance, formation cease. Do you understand? Okay, do it, huh? Bhante, I understand. Then because of the complete cessation of formations, consciousness cease. Do you understand? Yes, Bhante, I understand well. In this way, the whole series Buddha asks, he understands. Then if you understand in this way, do you attain any jhana? No, Bhante. Do you attain any mundane sakibhava? No, Bhante. So in that sutta, Buddha openly says, Sokha Vipassaka Yanika Mata. Sokha Vipassana Yanika means they do not practice jhana. They directly practice four elements meditation. And they go to Vipassana. So there are also many arhats who attain arhatship by way of four elements meditation.
And do you think that was before, because they had so many paramis, and now
Maybe
going to jhana is easier?
because of Barmi only. If they have enough Barmi, what is their intention? If they practice jhana, it will take maybe few days or maybe few months. So they don't want to wait. They want to become arhat very, very quickly. Why? Because of their Barmis. Their Barmi asks them to practice very quickly to attain arhatship, because that is coming. You should not wait up to July, up to 2006, up to 2007. That is coming, so they dedicatedly practice. So because of this reason, they became arhats. But after attaining arhat, they trying to see their lifespan. At the time, they saw they are not yet taking pranibbana quickly. So because of at the day, sometimes some arhats, they try jhanas again at that time. Any question? Okay.
Going back to doubt, I have a question, and I realize that under truth, I have a couple of qualities that I'm very attached to. One quality is love, and the other one is justice. And
Justice. What is justice?
Justice.
What is justice?
justice is fairness, ultimate fairness. For example, in a court of law, they try to give justice. So we talk about justice, like in Western tradition, religion, God is considered just. Even though we can't fathom sometimes why it's so, the faith is there's justice. And so after your talk the other night, when you were talking about some of the qualities of an arahant in terms of relationship, I wasn't quite sure where to put that that concept of love. I didn't know if it's just an ignorant thought, because the concept of love, like, does it fit into Buddhist thought? Is that, to be more clear, the arahant that you described to me seemed detached and not particularly compassionate, and therefore I couldn't see where love fits in. And I've always thought that when one becomes enlightened, somehow that's a quality of an enlightened person, is to be in tune or attuned to the suffering of others. And the second thing is kama. After the Taksanabhidhamma, if I have doubt, I guess I'm not sure that kama is just, and that there's justice in kama. And one of the answers that came up for me when I considered that was, I think the answer is, it really doesn't matter if kama is kama. It doesn't matter if it's just or not. You just accept that it is what it is, which leaves me feeling uncomfortable. Therefore, to believe a system where that's the answer. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Maybe arhats no love. Maybe they have loving kindness, it is true. This loving kindness is not like worldly's loving kindness. Their loving kindness is very pure. Worldly's loving kindness also, if they attain jhana, it is also pure, it is true. But when they coming out from jhana, some defilements may arise in them. But for arahats, no defilements, no loving kindness, no love. But they have loving kindness, they have a lot of compassion. Because of this reason, after attainment of arhatship, they also try to spread these dhammas for welfare of humankind or devas. Because of this reason, nowadays you can clearly see Venerable Kaspar. He is the head of first council. They orally learn by heart. They learn by heart Buddha's teachings. Very wonderful, their memory. Very wonderful. They gave this dhammas generation to generation. Now maybe more than 2,500 years over. But later generations, they cannot recite orally. Because of this reason, they write on palm leaves only. So, if they want to attain Nibbana alone, they will happily enjoy their Arahant fruition attainment only. But they do not like that. They also try for welfare of all beings, devas, human beings. So because of this reason, they have a lot of loving kindness as well as compassion. Such type of loving kindness is present in them, but attachment to each other, this is not seen, this is not present in them. This is one reason. But according to the activity of the law of karma, another, it is not necessary to justice. Karma will do its action. Will do its action means when it becomes mature, it will do its action. Action means it will produce its result. As long as the karma is not yet mature, it will not produce any result. When they become mature, it will produce. There is no one who just you must do in this result, you must do in that result in this way. But when they become mature, the activity according to the natural law of the activity of the karma, then karma will produce itself only. But if you want to protect this karma, then you must try number one to attain jhana. If you attain jhana, then you should maintain this jhana up to that moment. If you can maintain your jhana up to that moment, you are sure to be reborn in Brahmawa after that. This is one sure karma. But before that moment, this jhana fall down, it is not sure. Like Venerable Devadatta. Before that moment, his jhanas all fall down. You cannot practice again to re-enter these jhanas. Another is, if you understand ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality and their causes, then this insight knowledge also very good insight knowledge. It is sure you will be reborn after that in good place. Again, if you can contemplate this ultimate mentality, materiality and their causes as Vichata, when your insight knowledge also becomes mature, but you do not yet attain part impulsion knowledge. But this insight knowledge also can be strong, powerful supporting gods for you to be reborn in good place. This is another good one. Another is if you attain part impulsion knowledge. At least if you attain three entry part impulsion knowledge. That part knowledge, impulsion knowledge also very good quality, very good. But knowledge is very high class wholesome dhamma. That wholesome karma also can protect all unwholesome dhammas which will produce to be reborn in four whole states. It completely will cut. This is also very good. This is sure. But again, if you practice vipassana, if you begin Noradana stage, then the Vasradana stage, Then that was Radhanapat knowledge was destroying all wholesome karmas which have opportunity to be reborn in human world. He had only one chance to be reborn in only human world once only. More than twice, more than 2 times he will not reborn in this world. All wholesome dhammas and unwholesome dhammas he already destroyed completely without remainder to be reborn in human world. Again, if you begin Noradana Pasa, if you edit Noradana Pat infusion knowledge, that Noradana Pat knowledge will destroy completely all wholesome dhammas which will produce to be reborn in human world as well as in Deva world. You have only one chance to be reborn in Brahma world only. If you accumulate highest wholesome dhamma, this is Rahampat knowledge. Rahampat knowledge wholesome dhamma. The wholesome dhamma will completely destroy all wholesome karmas and unwholesome karmas completely without remainder. You have no chance to be reborn in other place and any other existence. So there may be wholesome and unwholesome karmas you have been accumulated in previous life as well as in this life. If you accumulate this jhana wholesome dhamma or vipassana wholesome dhamma or pat wholesome dhammas, these wholesome dhammas will destroy every wholesome and unwholesome dhammas which you had already accumulated in this life or in previous life. So karma will be justice to decide. It is result. There is no one who decides justice.
What, did you say that karma is
Karma will
justice?
decide. Karma is the just. In other words, you can say karma is justice. Karma
That there's
will-
justice to it. And the Buddha referred to it as such?
No.
No?
Buddha also never say justice. He say only the activity of the law of karma only. If you do wholesome dhammas, then wholesome results will appear. If you do unwholesome dhammas, unwholesome results will appear. In this way only Buddha taught. But in ultimate reality, there is no action. No action means because of this rise. If this is upset, then this is also upset. Just only. This produces this for easy understanding only we say. If there is this will be rise. If there is no this, then this will be not rise. This is the meaning. There is no action to produce each other. But for easy understanding only, karma produces this result and this will be said. But if there is still there's karma, then this result will arise only. If there is no this karma, then this result will not arise. They are called nihilika. There is no effort to produce any result. In this karmic force, mentality, materiality, they have no effort. I will do this such and such result. I will give such and such a result. No such activity, no such attention. If there is this, then this will rise. If there is no this, then this will not rise. You should try to understand this, the activity of the law of karma. There is no justice. Okay.
I have a question about karma too. Let's say I know someone who is sick or lonely, and according to the law of karma, that is their karma. Now, but it could also be their karma that I stop meditating and help them be well or less lonely. So how do you know what to do?
I do not understand Veranika's question.
Help someone, let someone suffer is their karma. That's situation 1. Situation 2 is help them. And that might be their karma too, that they receive help from someone else. So which if I'm faced with a choice, what should I do? Say, oh, well, let them suffer, or I'm going to meditate and improve myself. Which of those two situations?
Maybe I only say one story, then you will understand and think so. In the novel, there's one bhikkhu who is called Pudigada. His name is Pudigada. One day he is sick. Sick is in his body, many boils are coming up. So these boils are very big, like maybe OCD, maybe about this size. Slowly they broken in, then many pus and blood are coming out. He is very sick. One day Buddha trying to see the wall with his wisdom eye, Sakbhava. He saw this Pudigada and then he reflected, oh, today he will become Rahat. He saw. So he visited to him. He washed his clothes. And then he asked many bhikkhus to help him. And they drying under the sunshine. And then gave new this cloth again. And then other than Buddha teached him. He became Rahat. What is the reason? In the Gospel Buddha, he is who kept many birds. How they go? He is hunter, maybe, but that hunter is kills many birds.
Birds.
Birds. Yes, many birds. He killed many birds, but his killing system is different. He catch birds, and then he broke legs. He broke hands, and then still put there, because if he killed already, then if he sell, then not finished, then it will begin rotten. Because of this reason, he do not kill completely. He cut only hands, not to go away. He cut only wings, not to fly. Only in this way he put in his house. Because of this wholesome Dhamma. He reborn in hell. When he escaped from hell, when he became human being, one day he ordained as a bhikkhu. But this karma, the remaining karmas followed to him to produce this result. So, but he had accumulated wholesome dhammas also in previous life. He had a lot accumulated samatha and vipassana in previous life. Because of this reason, his parami became mature. Buddha understand. So Buddha taught him the Dhamma relating for noble truths. At that day, when Buddha sat and maybe washed his body with warm water, washed his clothes, and then dry under the sunshine, and then put his clothes again. At that time he began little happiness. At that time Buddha taught the Dhamma relating for noble truths. Then he contemplated according to Buddha's teaching these Dhammas. Then he became Rahat. So if there is someone who is sick, in this way if you can help, then depending on his parami, he may also accept the Dhamma partially or maybe fully. It depends on his ability. But you can teach Dhamma, it is very good. But by sending alone metta, he will recover. We cannot say exactly. It depends on his karma. ဟုတ်တယ်လေသူကကိုကြီးနိုင်လားလို့သဘောတူပြောတယ်နော်သူကိုကြီးမလားလေသူကံပါသူကံလားသူအခုဟုတ်ပြီလေအဲ့ဒီလိုကိုကြီးမယ်ဆိုကိုကြီးနိုင်တယ်ဒါတည်းပြန်ပြောတာ if you can help in this way you can help but other ways are we cannot say exactly.
Yeah, so for example the choice meditate or help.
Yes.
Meditate, you help yourself.
Yes.
Help, you stop meditating, but you help someone else.
Yes. You should teach meditation or how to contemplate Dhamma, how to reflect Dhamma. In this way you also can teach him.
That way you help.
Yes.
Okay.
In that story, Buddha not gave Ubaka, that bhikkhu, because he had enough parami. Because of this reason, Buddha helped him. And then teach Dhamma. Then he became, this is very good rasa. In the same way also, if you can help him, if he also realizes Dhamma, then it will be very good for him.
So, at some point when you can, through practice, you cut all your past karma from catching up with you. But if you haven't reached that point, karma can catch up and kill you. So there's a...
This depends on his own karma. When his karma become vijua before final cessation, pranibbana, final cessation stage, if this karma become vijua, then he will be suffer. Like Venerable Mahamoggallana. Venerable Mahamoggallana, in one of previous life, he killed his father and mother because of his wife agitation. His wife's agitation, he killed his father and mother. This unwholesome, because of this unwholesome demands, he suffered a lot in hell, many million years. But when he escaped from hell, 200 legs, every leg, he crushed his head. He was crushed his head into pieces. He died every leg. Last leg also in the same way. Many robbers are coming to kill him, but he already knew they are coming to kill him. So he entered into jhana, and with his psych power he fly away. But on the 7th day, he cannot enter any jhana. Because of this unwholesome karma is bigger mature. It is happening. So because of this reason, he cannot enter into jhana. He can do no psych power. Then many robbers killed him. They crushed his bones into pieces. They think he is dying. He was dying, they think, but he did not die. So after this karma finished, and then he recovered again. And then he create himself by his psych power to become normal body. And then go to the Buddha and pay respect to the Buddha and take permission from the Buddha to take pranibbana, final cessation. So because of this reason, some unwholesome karmas or wholesome karmas, before pranibbana stage, they may produce good or bad results. But after pranibbana stage, no karma cannot produce anymore.
So it's important to practice hard while you can.
Yes, important. You should not miss this opportunity.
Yes.
You should not delay up to 2007. Okay.
Did I hear you say that he entered jhana and flew away when someone was attempting to kill him?
Please ask.
Psychic powers.
What?
He used his
When
psychic powers.
somebody want to,
Yes.
somebody is
Who
trying
was
to
in the
kill
jhana?
him, did Sarah mention that he enter into jhana and fly away? Did you say that?
Maybe clearly, I will again say, Venerable Mahamoggallana, he possessed, he gained attain 5 mundane psych power also. But if you want to attain mundane psych power, you must first practice 10 kasinas in 8 adamis in 40 ways. But for them, it is not necessary. Why? They had been accumulated this parami in previous lives many times. This is one reason. Because of this reason, when they became a hardship, these 5 mundane psych powers are automatically finished. They also already added mundane psych powers. For them, if they want to do any psych power, at that time they must try 1/4 jhana, up to 4th jhana. After 4th jhana, if they decide to do such and such, then their psych power is finished for them. For Venerable Mahamoggallana, he is expert especially activated psych power. Activated means he can go in the sky very quickly. He can go above water very quickly. He can stay in the sky. No problem. But on that day, when to create this psych power, when he is entering into jhana, he cannot enter into no jhana. Because fourth jhana is very important. Which fourth jhana we cannot say exactly because he is but Kasina say 8 atoms. So any jhana he can choose for him. But he cannot enter on that day any jhana. Because of this reason he cannot do any psych power also. Because psych power must base on jhana.
So, Sayadaw, to teach the Maha Satipatthana Sutta without explicitly talking about jhana is not a proper way to teach that sutta.
No. My meaning is without jhana also you can practice Mahasatipatthana, no problem. Because there is 4 elements meditation.
Yes. Oh.
4 elements meditation is for pure vehicle persons who have not yet attained jhana. But this is both sides. For those who attain jhana also, when they want to desire ultimate materiality, every day really they must practice 4 elements meditation. This is also one way. Some meditators, they want directly go to Vipassana. They don't want to practice jhana. For those also Buddha taught this 4 elements meditation. So without jhana also they can practice 4 elements Satipatthana. With jhana also they can practice Satipatthana.
I have a question regarding the 5 hindrance in how do we apply the second way in 5 hindrance in terms of there is no hindrance. I know a bit. I know there is no hindrance because in meditation we just we are supposed to focusing on the object. So
yes, when you are discerning ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality. If you can discern ultimate mentality, when you are discerning ultimate mentality, you must also discern wholesome dhammas also. For example, endocognitive process. In this endocognitive process, in jhana, impulsion, mind movement, there can be also unwholesome dhammas based on unwise attention. But sometimes there may be also wholesome dhammas based on wise attention. Because of this reason, when wholesome dhammas are arising in passing with successfully for a long time, unwholesome dhammas including hindrances are absent. At that time also you should try to understand, unwholesome dhammas are not absent in me. This is one. Another is when you are practicing jhana dhammas. If you can enter jhana more than 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, etc. At that time also, because of this jhana dhammas, hindrances are disappear. Temporarily means about 1 hour, 2 hours, etc. At that time, jhana dhammas are successfully arising in passing way. At that time also, hindrances are absent. At that time also, you should try to understand, hindrances are absent from me.
How except we are in discerning the nama and rupa or the cognitive process, how do we apply in daily life?
Daily life is not easy. You can understand only partially. But if you don't want to enter this hindrance, to visit to your mind these hindrances, then you should, in daily life, you should contemplate in one object, meditation object, such as anapana or 4 elements, etc. If you can concentrate on your meditation object, then they will not visit to you. Maybe one day I told tortoise, fox. You should put your mind in your shell. Shell is Kamathana object. In that meditation object, if you can put your mind, then fox will not bite you.
the other question is about the mindfulness of, in both mindfulness of Vedana and in both of the mindfulness of Dharma, all mention about the dosa and the raga. So are there any difference among the Chitta-Anupasati and the Dhamma-Anupasati? Because both all mention about greed and hatred.
Maybe Kaya Nupassana means they emphasize first Kaya. Kaya means especially Rupa. But Rupa alone cannot right again. Rupa, if you contemplate Rupa alone, you cannot realize Nibbana. Because of this reason, you must also try to understand Nama mentality. Although you emphasize Rupa, you must also emphasize mentality. When you are discerning mentality, there are three ways: by way of feeling, or by way of consciousness, or by way of contact. If you practice by way of feeling, this is Vedana-Nupassana. If you practice by way of consciousness, this is Chitta-Nupassana. If you practice by way of contact, this is Dhamma-Nupassana. Three ways, you can choose any way. But when you are contemplating Vedana feeling, Vedana alone is not enough. Vedana always arises with associated mental formations. Because of this reason, you must also contemplate the Vedana together with associated mental formations. But these mental formations arise depending on your different types of base. So because of this reason, you must also discern ultimate materiality. So although you emphasize Vedana alone you must not emphasize. You must also discern ultimate mentality and ultimate materiality. In the same way, when you are emphasizing consciousness, mind consciousness alone cannot arise. Consciousness always arises with associated mental formations. Because of this reason, when you are discerning or when you are contemplating consciousness, you must also contemplate the associated mental formations also. But this every mind moment arises dependent on their own respective base. Base is ultimate materiality. So you must also discern ultimate mentality as well as ultimate materiality when you are practicing Chitta-Nupassana.
My question is both in Vedana and in Chitta, all mention about greed and all mention about hatred.
Okay. Because in Chitta-Nupassana, please reflect again. Saragama Chitta Saraga Chitta Vipajanati. Vidaragama Chitta Vidaraga Chitta Vipajanati. Sadosama Chitta Sadosa Chitta Vipajanati. Vidadosama Chitta Vidadosa Chitta Vipajanati, etc. In this we put that 16 types of Chitta. Saraga Chitta means consciousness with greed. Consciousness associated with greed. Consciousness associated with dosa, anger. Consciousness associated with delusion, etc. In this we put that. So when you are discerning consciousness, the consciousness which is associated with greed, the consciousness which is associated with anger, the consciousness which is associated with delusion also you must contemplate. So they are also included. In the same way, in Dhamma-Nupassana 500 chapter also, they are also included. Vedana also saying, when you are discerning Vedana in every mind moment there is also, sometimes there may be unwholesome mind moments, sometimes there may be wholesome mind moments. In a wholesome mind moment, in each mind moment, sometimes they may be associated with greed, sometimes they may be associated with anger, sometimes they may associate with delusion, etc. So they are also all included.
Sayadaw, I have a question about Mahamoggallana, but it is really a question about karma that I have very great difficulty understanding. And you have said that Mahamoggallana had his head crushed because of his karma. But this cannot be because of his karma. This is his phala, the result of his karma. Yes. It is the robber's karma to crush his skull.
We say this is produced by karma only. But really, previously I told, karma has no action. If there is this will rise only. This will only.
But is it that the robber did not want to crush his skull, but he has to crush his skull because of Mahamoggallana's heavy karma.
Maybe this is their different cases. Because take years, take here how many fancy? The outside Buddha's dispensation, there are also many ascetics. Their games are decreased differently. Because of this reason, there are also some devotees who believe in them. They give money to the robbers. Robbers, if they got money, they kill only. This is their case. But Venerable Moggallana, why he defeated like that? This is his karma. So robber's karma is robber another. His karma is another.
But sometimes we say that a person has gotten killed, oh, that is his karma. But surely it has to be the karma of the killer. Did the killer have to kill the person because of the dead person's karma?
Maybe they are indirectly connected. Indirectly means his karma become mature. At that time, he must accept this opportunity. Whether this is good or bad, he must accept this opportunity. Because of this reason, because of his karma, he was killed, we can say. But there is also one person who killed. This is also his karma. He is accumulating another unwholesome karma. Why he accumulates this unwholesome karma? There may be behind there is also some reasons. For example, Vidrupa. Vidrupa, he killed many Sakyas. This is his action. But why the Sakyas was killed by him? Why Sakyas were killed by him? Because they are karma. In one previous life, they all agreed to keep fishes in the river, maybe to put poison in the river. So many fishes are dead. Because of this unwholesome karma, they suffered many times in hell. But when they escaped from hell, when they became Sakyas, at that time this karma became mature. Because of this reason, Vidrupa also kept them. They are suffered because of their karma only. But Vidrupa kept them, this is his karma only. This is new karma. But his karma also produced him bad result immediately. Immediately when he go back to his country, on the way and on the bank of Ganges River, they are sleeping. The above Ganges, there are very heavy rain. The waters they are carrying to the up to ocean. So because of this reason, they have their own respective karmas.
So it is by chance that the two karmas come together, the result of somebody's karma and the production of somebody's new karma? Or they know that this will happen, so subconsciously he slept there in the river to feel the result of his karma?
How we can say, how we can say, this is their karma, we can say only. Maybe now, you are now here meditating. Because of my karma, you are meditating, how we can say it? Your karma is your karma, my karma is my karma. Different only.
Sayadaw, I'd be grateful if you could just, I'm struggling with the concept of, when you're listening to your talk there, it's almost as if with karma you're determined, or it's predetermined that sometimes somebody may act in a particular way. Where does that relate to the concept of free will? Person's right to choose.
What is free will?
Free will. Well, a person may have a choice to act it either in one way or another. Their choice. And I'm trying to understand that in relation to your account about karma and how it seems, if my understanding is right, that people are determined to act, or there's a predetermination for a person to act in a particular way, whether they like it or not. So the robber crushing the person's head, it was, if my understanding is right, he was destined to do that.
Maybe Swankamas you gain. What you gain? Some. You can avoid Swankamas. The Swankamas cannot avoid. When they become Vijua, when they are not yet become Vijua, you can avoid. You can avoid means if you accumulate other wholesome karmas, this morning I told you, jhana karmas, vipassana karmas, or pat karmas. If you accumulate these wholesome karmas, they can protect these karmas. But before that moment, you cannot protect sometimes. Sometimes means the unwholesome karmas or wholesome karmas, when they become Vijua, you cannot protect. But not fixed altogether. When they begin Vijua only, they will produce this result. But when they are not yet Vijua, then you can avoid from these karmas also. Not fixed.
So I think the question, or I'll add to it, is not so much that something would happen to you, but that you would be destined, fated to act in a certain way, that you wouldn't have the choice to decide to do something wholesome or unwholesome. If it's your past karma that is causing, whatever the situation happens to be, you're fated to act in a certain way according to karma, is what I think the question was. Is that right? Is that close to what you were saying?
Yeah.
So the question is, does a person have the ability to choose to act one way or another? Or does karma predetermine that you're going to only act in a certain way?
One can choose.
You can choose, yes.
You can choose good ways. So Buddha taught this way only. This way is nothing but Noble Eightfold Path. This is wholesome karma. If you follow this Noble Eightfold Path, then if you can practice diligently within few days or within few months or within few years, you can escape from these karmas.
Can you also say that some people's karma is to never be open to hearing the Dhamma, that they cannot mount the enough faith to even find any magnet to bring them to it, or to have them want to follow any given path?
Maybe this also mentioned in our text. One text. Who had annihilation? Annihilation view. Sometimes they deny the activity of the law of karma. They do not believe action. Action means karma. That karma produce any result. They do not believe. Then sometimes they deny result. Result is automatically coming not because of karma. They think. Sometimes they deny action only. Action means whether you do good or bad, there will be no result. In this way they deny action. Such type of wrong views, when they produce it, if they do not give up this wrong view up to that moment, this is very heavy karma. That karma will produce to be reborn in hell or in Bidawha, etc., in four whole states. But when they begin when they reach to hell, it is not easy to escape from hell for many aeons. because this karma is very heavy karma. If they deny the activity of the law of karma, then they can do everything freely. They will not observe any virtue. They can do freely anything good or bad, no problem. They do not believe this is good. They do not believe this is bad. So because of this reason, their ahosa is very heavy. We call this is kruga karma. Another is killing mother, killing father, killing raha, and then schism, doing schism in sangha. Then another is trying to shed blood from the living Buddha. These are also heavy karmas. They cannot be avoided. After that, they will suddenly produce to be reborn in awful states only. But when they escape from the hell, etc., if they reborn to be human being, at that time also, because of their previous karma, they don't want to accept any good teachings. They don't want to accept, like communists. They don't want to accept the activity of the law of karma because of previous unwholesome karmas present. So such attitudes also they have.
Sorry, I'm sorry to be the timekeeper here, but it's now 9:45 our new time, and we're waking up tomorrow at 2:45. You can ask more questions tomorrow.
Okay.
Sorry. People are going to be very tired in the morning.
Idame punya asavakaya mahahotu idame punya nibbanasa pacayo hotu idame punya sabha sadhana pajema tesabe mesama punya baga labantu sadhu. Misalnya ahli praktek.